Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to Homestead Dream. I'm Mary, and today we're going to be doing a garden tour of the backyard and the front yard. And then I will also be shooting a harvesting video, but that one will air later in the week, probably on Friday or Saturday. And the reason, two reasons I'm not doing that is, one, I don't want to make my video too long right away. And secondly, I need to hurry up and get stuff harvested right after this video so that before this heat comes in and ruins everything, because it's about to get really hot and I don't want my lettuce to go bad and bolt, so I'll need to hurry up and get that taken care of. But without further ado, let's go ahead and show you how we do it here. Ready? So I'm going to start in our green stalk tower. I did want to touch base about these green beans. These green beans are, as you can see, they're blooming. They're pole beans, so they're going to continue growing. However, those seeds I got a friend that lives across the street from me, and they're from 2015. So that just kind of goes to show you that just because the seed date on the package is really old does not mean that they won't work. We've got a few cucumbers in here. Actually, we've got, let's see, a little cucumber baby right here. This is our volunteer sunflower, and it's growing in between the cracks. Our lettuce bed, or not lettuce, my apologies. This is our green, Southport white globe onions, and you can see our ginger is starting to sprout through the soil. So that's pretty exciting. In this one, we have our Walla Wallas. And you can see from our last video, when we cut them all down, they're growing really quickly and they're doing well at bulbing. So I'm gonna just keep them covered back up. Peas that were also from the neighbor. And let's see, we've got these onions, which are, let's see, the Blanco DiMaggio white. So those are looking well. And you'll notice an empty space right here. We did harvest the potatoes that were in here because, as you can see, the difference in size from these onions to these little guys. So they were getting crowded. We have more potatoes over there. We did harvest one of those as well. Here's our peas. We will be cutting this down today and harvesting whatever is there. We've got some herbs, lettuce, more cucumber. And this is an example of what a lettuce looks like when it goes to seed. See how the stalk just goes straight up. And so we're gonna go ahead, I'll just pull that out and toss that. We got a pumpkin in its place. It looks like we got a dokie. Hi, dokie. Here's one treat. Here's one pea. Good girl. So over here, I never talked about this last time, but this was a special gift in memory of Andy and Mai's daughter who passed away, a friend of mine whose daughter also suffers with the same condition. She got that for me on Maya's birthday, so that was really sweet. And it lights up at nighttime, so it looks super amazing. Over here we have our hot peppers, and I think, yep, we have a jalapeno already starting. We've got, most of these are jalapenos. I think we got some serranos, sugar rush. Yeah. And then, so we'll be harvesting most of this lettuce. We have our dahlia right here. And I think the dahlias are getting close to blooming. And we have tomatoes. This is the sun sugar cherry. This is a Space Master cucumber, and looks like we're gonna have one to harvest today. We've got the tomatoes. So the last time I did a video, a garden tour, told you guys about how one particular, my sun sugar cherry, was getting really close to being as tall as me. Well, it has now surpassed. It has surpassed. It is taller than I am. So there's no telling how tall this is going to be. You know, here in the jungle, we've got Libby Lou right there. She's my protector, and she follows me because she is very hopeful that mommy will give her a treat. And then my neighbor actually got that for me. She brought that over, I want to say, over the weekend. So that was super sweet of her. I love it. It's a rain gauge. Let's see. Oh, our sweet peppers. Our sweet peppers are doing really well. We have a lot of blooms. I don't know that we have an actual pepper yet, but I'm not too concerned. We've got our cucumbers trellising up, which are doing really, really well. These are our tomatillos. So right now it looks just like an empty lantern, and eventually it's growing inside of that. And this will turn papery thin and start to break away, and that's, excuse me, when I know they're ready. So all of our tomatoes, obviously we won't be harvesting from there because they're not ready. Our eggplant is blooming. It's got little blooms. Our green pepper or green beans are looking so good. Here is our squash. Let's take a look-see in there. We got our zucchini. And I'm gonna have to come out here and trim these leaves up because they're doing really well. They're just really bushy. We have our squash. And then these are the white scallop that I mentioned before. So they look just like those little guys. Oh, there's a bigger one right there. That looks like it got pollinated, so that's good. So we've got quite a bit going on. I think we have probably like 19 cucumber plants. Now, will they all do well? No. But that's the fun part. Just kind of, finding out what works for our area, what does the best. Have our sweet corn. Now, the sweet corn we planted was the Silver Queen. So it'll be all white. And I'm not too concerned for the weeds because the corn will just take over and they'll grow quickly. Let's go back here to the cantaloupe. And I think, because cantaloupe are like the cucumbers, they'll have the female and the male flower. I know there is one that I seen the other day. No, I'm not seeing any females yet, but they're doing really well. We're going to go ahead and harvest all the radish today. And let's see, we've got our red okra hill, our okra plant. It's doing pretty good for being kind of secluded. We got watermelon there. We got a watermelon there. And they're all coming up in different stages. I wanted them to be like that on purpose. You got an itch, puppy? We'll be harvesting our basil today. We have lime, lemon. This is our mammoth leaf basil. One of my favorite is the purple ruffle. And then this purple ruffle as well. It's just so pretty. Another dahlia getting ready to open. Now, discuss the male and female flowers. Now, remember I said there's the male flowers that has like all the pollen, and then the female flower has the actual fruit. So this is an example. There's a bug on me. This is a female flower because it has the rampicante squash right here on it. The problem is I'm gonna have to pull this off. And the reason behind that is there is no male flowers open yet. So instead of letting the plant put a bunch of energy into producing these, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off and let the plant focus on creating more greenery and the male flowers. So the male flowers is this one right here. And when this one opens, you can take this flower off and you can pollinate the inside of this one, or you can trust to the bees. Usually I'll go in and do it. But as you can see, it has really, really taken off on the trellis. It's doing good. We've got zinnias planted in here. We have more cucumbers. We have, I think, 5. Ooh, see that guy right there? That is a cucumber beetle, and he will destroy your plants. So let's go ahead and check for other ones. This right here coming up is my loofah, and it's actually doing far better than I anticipated it to. It's really going to take off because it likes really hot weather. Let's see, we have the smaller pumpkins right in here, and then more all over here. Now this pumpkin right here, we found a random pumpkin growing in between our home and our sidewalk. So I pulled it up because obviously I'm not going to continue to let that grow. And I replanted it because the roots were intact. And it looks like it's going to be our most successful pumpkin. So all along this back line, we have strawflower. We have, I think those are poppies. We have a lot of zinnias. These are balsam flowers, which hummingbirds really like. I started some seeds just last week. However, these are from last year and they've sprouted. So this is a volunteer sunflower, and if you look right there is our assassin bug. I'm gonna go ahead and name him Fred. I don't mess with him very much because his sting hurts. We have a zinnia flower. We have had quite a few zinnias that have bloomed. We've already cut them off. When you cut flowers, I'll do a video about that another time, but when you cut the flowers, set off side shoots so the plant will become more bushy and produce even more. So that's why we do that. I have a little sting on my finger. Is where we had our in-ground potatoes, or where we do have them. I'd be interested to see what they do. They do have to reach for the sun over in this corner, but again, it was just an experiment. Next we have the potatoes. Potatoes and fruit. Let's see. We've got, and like I said, we did Harvado bags. So here's all the other ones. We've got a tomato in this, surrounded by, what is that, lime basil. So we'll be harvesting that. Oh, just by touching that plant, I can smell it. My hands smell like it. So we've got our blueberries here. I'll be harvesting those. The kids will be really excited when they get home. This is we got our first beetle. Ugh. And this is another reason why I love the bags. So that's good. We've got, let's see, this is our blackberry. You can see they're getting pretty big. They're doing well. And when this plant takes off, man, it is like an all-day job just to harvest off of it, as you can tell with all the things that are going on in there. Last thing that we have in the backyard, other than the seeds that we started, which I don't believe they're blooming, I'll double check, but our lemon bush, let me flip it. Got our lemons, so they're taking off. That's the first we've ever had. I will say our elderberry back there, I didn't show you, that's doing phenomenal. So we've got, let's see, it does not look like any of our seeds have sprouted just yet. This one's labeled wedding, because when Andy and I got married, we passed out sunflower seeds. Oh, they are sprouting already. We passed out sunflower seeds to our guests, and his cousin, she had planted it, and I mean, that stem was probably that big around. It was huge. So she saved those seeds, and she's been using them ever since. And since the birds decided to eat my last sunflower, I've got them in there so that I can grow some more. We'll probably try to find a place for these once I get that taken care of. Place that I want to show you is going to be in our front yard, and I'll show you everything that's growing out there. Come on, let's go. Okay, so now we're out front. I'm excited to show you all of this. So the first, I don't have this in the ideal location. This is the raised bed that my daughter had welded for me for Mother's Day, and her boyfriend like helped make little things. But we've got sweet peas growing, the geraniums. I will always have geraniums in my garden, at least one plant, because that was my grandma's favorite flower. In this bed, now this bed, the wheelbarrow and that bed were made by my father-in-law as well for me. So over here we have our carrots, and if you're impatient like me, this is what I do. I dig down in here in the soil, and then I look and I'm like, oh, look, there's a carrot. But clearly they're not ready. I'll probably harvest those next month sometime. So this is a nice big bed of carrots. We've got our basil. Let's see, I did do a video about what that is, and I will be posting it, but it is a way for me to treat for the pincher bugs, because pincher bugs are doing some damage on my basil in the front bed. So I'll let you know about what that is. It's got oil, balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of soy sauce. You just throw it in there, put it in the soil, and you're good to go. Also, our chives, we have cilantro that is going to seed. So I'm letting it go to seed just because they did so well in this location, and I want to save the seeds for next year. In our wheelbarrow, we have our nasturtiums. We have the alyssum flowers. Those are super cute, by the way. We have Johnny Jump. And I did the Johnny Jump because it's the same color for my kids' schools. So I thought it would be kind of cool. Red amaranth. And this is a pansy, I believe. But the flowers are doing really, really well. And that was a gift as well. This bed, super bare, as you can tell. It had a lot of lettuce, and with the heat that's coming, it didn't really grow as much. A little more wilted, didn't look as well because of the pincher bugs, so we pulled them all out. And we got Danver carrots, the scarlet carrot, and then Touchon, I don't know. So we planted all new carrots in this bed. We've got cilantro going to seed. Here's another example of the lettuce. So usually the plant would look just like this, but as you can see, it's shooting up and getting taller at the stem. So it's going to seed, and this is one of my favorite ones. So to show you guys what it looks like when it goes to seed in the process, oh look, there's a pincher bug. I'm gonna leave it and let it go to seed so I don't have to worry about it, and I can keep whatever comes out of it. So we've got that. We have snapdragons growing in the bed right there, and here, and here. And then we have our lemon balm, which we use for teas. And then an experimental cucumber, which, you know, it's not doing fantastic, but it definitely isn't horrible. This is our radish that is going to seed because of the heat. And these pods, again, they can be eaten, or you can leave them on, let them dry, and then you have the seeds. In here we have an echinacea plant. Looks like something's been nibbling on it. And then oregano. Let's see. We've got over here our lavender and That one was from seed, it looks like, too. Like I said, most of my seeds, there was probably only like 7 or 8 plants in my entire garden that I did not start from seed. The front bed doesn't usually do as well. I'm looking to find plants that would do well in it because it only gets morning sun. This is mullein. It is known as a weed out in the garden or out in nature, but I'm growing it for medicinal purposes. The leaves and such are really good for respiratory illnesses. And then we've got on this side of our house our popcorn. Now last year I planted just a little bit and I planted them late. They did okay. Like we got really small ears. So this year we planted them a lot earlier and they seem to be taking off. And again, I will do a video when that time comes on how we harvest that. I have another squash plant. I think that's a sweet meat. It's more of like a trap crop. Hoping that it'll make the squash bugs want to come to that plant and leave the rest of them alone. And then right here behind me is our peach tree. I planted this last year, about May, and I think we have about 7. Ooh, look at that. There's a spider. But peaches are doing really well. They're looking good. I'm excited to see what they do. So now that we've done the harvesting, let's go ahead, we'll go back and redo that and say, showed them, So now that we went ahead and I've showed you the things of the garden, let's go ahead and get some harvesting done before the rest of this heat comes. The heat is definitely entering and I do not want to lose a lot of my harvest because of the heat. So let's get back in the backyard and get that taken care of. Hey guys, we forgot to sign off on this video, and since Brody's home, he wanted to be a part of it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share it if you want. What do you want to say?
Oh, God blesses you.
God blesses you. I hope you guys have a great day.
My sister just said something.
And
I have no clue what she just said.
With many blessings. We'll talk to you later. Bye.